Laura. Welcome to the Huntsman Fundy Discovery Aquarium. I hear you have a question for me.
What do whales eat?
Well, that's a really good question, and it kind of depends on what type of whale you're talking about. So I've got some things I can show you here. In the ocean, there's two different kinds of whales. There's whales that have teeth. Do you happen to know what kind of whale that is?
Killer whale.
That's a killer whale, an orca whale. We do have an orca whale that visits the Bay of Fundy. We also have some other whales with teeth that visit the Bay of Fundy. There's ones like dolphins, and here's some of their teeth. If you'd like to hold one and have a look. And then we also have harbor porpoise that visit the Bay of Fundy. And this is what their teeth look like. A lot smaller, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're a little bit of a smaller whale than the dolphins would be. All right, we'll put those away. So, toothed whales, I also have a really big tooth from a whale called a sperm whale. So they're a whale that can dive very deep in the ocean. We do have them visit the Bay of Fundy occasionally, and they're one of the ones that will eat things like giant squid. So you'll see they'll have suction cup marks from the giant squid on them and scars. So that's a big one. So whales that have teeth, what do you think they might eat? Do you think fish would be a good thing to eat? Yeah, so they would eat things like fish. Around here they would eat small fish, schooling fish called herring or even mackerel. And some whales that have teeth, like orcas, will feed on marine mammals. So they might eat seals and things like that. So then another type of whale that we have are called baleen whales. And the majority of the big whales that come to the Bay of Fundy are baleen whales. And this is a piece of baleen. So instead of teeth in their mouth,
They have a baleen.
They have baleen, yeah. And it's only in the top of their jaw and it hangs down. What do you think this is made of? Does this remind you of anything in your own body or on your own body?
Straw.
Straw, okay, yep, it looks like straw. What about this? Does it remind you of anything on your body?
Bones.
Bones, maybe. What about your fingernails?
Yeah.
Yeah. So baleen is made of keratin, which is the same thing that your hair and your fingernails are made of. And you can see this whale, their baleen is quite coarse. Like you said, it's like straw. This piece of baleen, which is a lot bigger, what does this one feel like?
Bed covers.
Bed covers? Does it feel kind of like hair? Softer? Yeah. So this one is from a North Atlantic right whale. And their baleen is very fine because what they eat is very small. And it is a type of plankton called copepods. They're a type of zooplankton, so they're an animal plankton. There's a whole bunch of them in there. But they're so small, we would need to look at them with a microscope, wouldn't we, to see them? Yeah. So they primarily eat copepods. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen the show SpongeBob before, but this is plankton from SpongeBob. And plankton from SpongeBob is actually based on a copepod. So copepods have big long antennas, they have one eye spot, and this guy is based off of these. Can you imagine? So these big whales, big right whales, they feed on this very, very small microscopic plankton called copepods. So that's why their baleen has to be very, very fine. So it catches all those little copepods. And the way that they feed, so this is a right whale right here, and this is their baleen in their mouth. They actually have a gap in the front, and the way they feed is they open their big mouth and they swim through the water with their mouth open, and the water and copepods would go in the water would come out through their baleen plates, and then all the little copepods would get stuck inside. And that's how they feed. Cool, huh? So then some other baleen whales, like the fin whale that has this really coarse baleen, it doesn't need as fine of a net to feed because what it's eating is slightly larger and could be things like krill. And you can see the krill in there, they're a little bit bigger. You can actually see some of their bodies. They look like shrimp, right? Just a little bit smaller shrimp. Or they would be eating things like herring, so schooling fish. And they would eat a little bit differently. If you'll see, this is a humpback whale, which is similar to a fin whale in that they have grooves on their throat. You see how it's got those grooves on their throat? So what they'll do is instead of swimming through the water with their big mouth open, these guys will go into a school of krill or a school of herring, and they'll open their big mouth and take a big gulp. And that will make their big throat expand. And then they'll use their big tongue to push all the water out through the baleen plates, and all the fish and krill get stuck on the inside. So Ivy, has that answered your question?
Yes, thank you, Laura.
You're welcome. Bye, Ivy.
Bye, Laura.